Wish that I could find the words to describe you now, as I'm lying next to you and the world goes quiet. Wish that I could make you see how you fit me perfectly, and I fall for you again. We've been through it all. You're the one who understands. In a world where hope grows thin, you've completed me, and the story left within tells me how to breathe. Wish that I could make you see how you fit me perfectly, and I fall for you again. We've been through it all. You're the one who understands. The one to make things right, and I fall for you again. We've been through it all. You're the one who understands. And I fall for you again. We've been through it all. You're the one who understands.
I'm still working on my reindeer, and I don't know if you guys are like me, but sometimes when I choose my patterns, I forget to actually look at the Ami and analyze it to see how many body parts there are that I need to sew and how small details might be. Because when I get to the point where there are 16 parts to sew, I get a little discouraged. Or if there's super teeny tiny details like these antlers, I might get discouraged and I might not even choose the pattern. But I think for me, I just look at the pattern and I'll be like, oh, that's super cute, I want to make it, and I just jump right in wholeheartedly. And then I get to the points where it's like, oh, I forgot I need to make this, and this is not going to be enjoyable. Oh well. I don't want to make a deer. So would it be a fawn then if it's a reindeer without antlers? Like a girl reindeer? I suppose that would be an option. But alas, I will make the reindeer antlers, but it's not something that I think about when I choose a pattern, unfortunately. Because if I did, I probably wouldn't have made him. But I'll go ahead and make it. It's just not going to be joyful.
Yeah, you think you got the best of me, but just because I'm giving you my love for free, are things not for real? You've been telling everyone about us, but you are not the only one I call for fun. Late that we are done. Oh, hands in the air like I don't care. Music is fair to me singing. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Oh, love's in the air and I don't care. Music is fair to me singing. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Oh, you tell me that I made you think. If we have something special more than happy drinks, you'll go without blinking. No, you won't see that I'm lying to be on my own, on my own. No, you don't hear when I told you I fear we are done, that we are done. Oh, hands in the air like I don't care. Music is fair to me singing. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Oh, love's in the air and I don't care. Music is fair to me singing. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, hands in the air like I don't care. Music is fair to me singing. Come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, love's in the air and I don't care. Music is fair to me singing. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Come on, come on, baby. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Come on, come on.
Deep night, and I did take some footage from the hairdresser, so let's see how long it will take me to edit today's vlog, and if I have the time, I will share.
I have a 3-step process that I follow when securing the safety eyes into my creations. My first step is gluing the safety eyes using a super strong glue like E6000. Both the safety eyes itself as well as the washers. I know not everyone agrees to melting the back posts, but I feel pretty confident in how I approach safety eyes in my projects. My second step is to melt the back posts to make the stopper portion of the post wider and thicker, therefore stronger. I also leave a small gap between the base of the washer and the stopper. This comes into play for my next and final step. My third step is where I create a mushroom cap of sorts around the post of the safety eyes in order to create a locking mechanism, if you will, preventing the safety eyes from pulling through the front of the fabric. I have been doing all 3 steps for each of my creations for a while now, and it gives me peace of mind knowing that I have done all I can to make my creations as safe as possible.
I'm not one of those who easily can open up and let somebody close. No, I'm not one of those who is the center of attention. I'm not one of those. No. Some people might say I am afraid, but I just do things my own way. I don't know why, guess I don't like people pleasing. Sometimes they don't see what defines me, but I don't need them honestly, 'cause I got you. Everybody else makes me feel small and done and lost, but you're not like everybody else at all. You're the only one who makes me talk and walk so tall, 'cause you're not like everybody else at all. You're everything everyone else is not. You're not one of those who judge before they know somebody. I just feel at home. Yeah, yeah. You like to take things slow, never stressing anybody. That's just how I roll. Yeah. Some people might say I am afraid, but I just do things my own way. I don't know why, 'cause I don't like people pleasing. And sometimes they don't see what defines me, but I don't need them honestly, 'cause I got you. Everybody else makes me feel small and done and lost, but you're not like everybody else at all. You're the only one who makes me talk and walk so tall, 'cause you're not like everybody else at all. You're everything everyone else is not. You're everything everyone else is not. You're everything everyone else is not.
Hi, we just got back from a Costco trip and I got some of that rotisserie chicken, you know, the one that's $5. I just finished. I'm shredding all the meat from it. There's some brown meat and some white meat. Nico and I love to snack on this. She's going to snack on it in just a little bit, but for the bones, it's such a good flavor chicken that I hate for it to go to waste. So I've got it in a pot here and I'm gonna let it boil and simmer for a little bit so I can render the rest of the flavor that's in the bones and extract as much as I can out so that I can use it as like a chicken broth flavor for some of my dishes. One of the dishes that I love to make for Nico and I is a chicken udon noodle soup, which is a Japanese thick noodle soup. And normally I make the recipe just straight as it is, but I usually use Costco's frozen chicken thighs and it infuses some of its flavor, but this one's so much more tasty. And if I can use some of the broth that I render from here into that soup, that'll add another depth of flavor to the soup, and I know it's gonna taste really, really good. So, I mean, Miko already loves it the way that it is, but I cannot wait to try and infusing some of this into that soup and seeing how that goes. So, that's what's going on right now. I think my chicken is looking pretty good. I think I can stand putting some more water in there. It's looking pretty dark and flavorful. Yeah, I think I'll add a little more water so I can get a little more soup out of it, but it's looking great so far. Cannot wait to taste it. This is a recliner chair that we got specifically for me for crochet because I have terrible posture when I crochet. And I just wanted to show you this cushion that I made years ago. This is it was supposed to be a cat wrist pad, you know, one of those things where you rest your wrist and then you type on the keyboard at the computer. Well, I ended up using it as sort of like a back lumbar pillow for me here. Sometimes I'll use it for my back and sometimes I'll use it for behind my neck while I'm laying or sitting in this chair. But this yarn that I use for this is so perfect for home decor. I mean, this thing has been around for years and look at how well it has survived. There's very little pilling and it's super nice and soft. If I can remember what yarn I used, I will have it on the screen here. But yeah, I really love this yarn specifically for home decor because it just stands the test of time so well, and I just wanted to share that with you. Better yet, let me show you which yarn I used. And this is Loops and Threads Cream Cotton. I got this from Michaels. This is a store brand of Michaels, Loops and Threads. And I got it from there a long time ago, so I'm not even sure if they still carry this line. But it is, let's see. It is 87% cotton and 13% nylon. And it just works out really well. Obviously, these are two different colorways, but this is the same exact yarn. And I really love this yarn for home decor, and I would highly recommend it if they still carry it. So I'm back at the kitchen and I am just, what do you call this? Sieving my chicken broth soup. And I'm just trying to take out the little chunky bits so I have a clearer, cleaner broth to work with. This is my final broth. It doesn't have much of a flavor profile. It's really subtle, but it will add another level of complexity to the dishes that I will use it with, just because it's real chicken broth and it's not just plain water that I usually use. So it'll add depth of flavor and more complex flavor notes. So I'm really looking forward to using this in my chicken udon noodle dish. Hi, I'm about to record my podcast right now, and I think I've got my setup ready and I'm rearing to go. I'm excited, actually, for the first time, which is really weird. I've got my trusty tea. As much as I mention Milo's tea, you would think I'm sponsored, but I'm not. This is just to wet my whistle while I'm speaking. I've been noticing on my videos that I have the worst chapped lips ever on screen, so I'm gonna try and have my chapstick at the ready so that I can just lather it on when I need, maybe in between projects. So let's get this started. is taco night tonight. I'm hoping that my tomato is good enough for eatings for taco toppings. Here I have my lettuce that I just quickly chopped up, and I just need to drain it and spin it, and it's ready to go for our yummy tacos tonight. I think my tomato is well enough to be eaten tonight, so I'm gonna chop this baby up. My taco shells are fresh out of the oven and ready to stuff. Miko and I love these. I don't know if they're pickled. I think they're pickled. These are hot pickled jalapenos, and we love to eat these on our pizza and in our tacos. Yum. I've got my taco shells here. Got the taco meat on the hob on just a light warmer, just to keep it warm. And here's the spread for tonight. We've got lettuce, tomato, avocado, some pickled hot jalapenos, sour cream, and some shredded Mexican cheese mix.
Going back to my old hometown, picking up the years I leave behind. Getting in my car, I drive as memories fly by. Driving by the fields I used to run through, where you were chasing me. We were riding out under the bleachers when no one could see. Oh, sweet memories of a town I loved, but oh, changed when you left. I keep on asking myself in my mind, were you the one that got away? Moved a few times but ended up in Nashville. Tried to settle my restless soul. Got a job that felt like forever when I met you. You made me happy, we danced through the night. Life was music and I was your wife. Time flies and the years went by, still I tried. Oh, sweet memories of a town I loved, but oh, changed when you used to swim. Jump the fence before the summer begins, and getting cool in the summer heat with you, my sweet. Sitting in the back of your car, wishing for this road to take us far. Now I've been way too long, I'm going home. Oh, sweet memories of a town I love, but oh, changed when you left. I keep on asking myself in my mind, were you the one that got away? Sweet memories of the town I love, but oh, changed when you